everyone, glad to have you join us again today. This is Anita White with Love Your Art, and we're going to be having some fun today. We have a 12 by 16 canvas in which we're going to do a swipe with. I have mixed in this OXO container some Glidden Essential House Paint along with some GAC 800 to keep it from cracking. And this is going to be our base paint for our swipe. And then over here we have some golden paints. All the paints that we'll use today are golden. This particular one happens to be the Quinacridone Violet. And then we have permanent dark violet. Next we have Phthalo Blue. And then we have teal. All of these are by Golden, and they'll be the paints that I use. And I'm using the pouring medium that Karen from Waterfall Acrylics uses, which is a combination of the Sherwin-Williams house paint mixed with Minwax Polycrylic, and then of course the golden color tint that we use to paint with. For our cell activator, this is actually Australian Floetrol with Amsterdam titanium white. And I also have another one, which is the Amsterdam, this is permanent red violet. So we're going to try and see what happens with two different cell activators and the house paint. This again is an experiment, so we want to see what happens. Let's begin by taking and pouring some of the house paint onto the canvas. And we will leave space, not covering up the entire canvas, but leave space so that we can actually take and tilt. Okay. I will list below the colors that we use in this particular design. I'll list those in the description so that we can see them. We're going to begin with the Quinacridone Violet, and we'll take that right across. Okay. On top of that, we'll put the permanent dark violet. And then the Phthalo Blue. And finally, we'll have our teal. Okay. So to start with, I'm going to use the white cell activator, just white with, and I'm going to take and put some onto a strip of cardboard. We're just going to start small, see what happens. And we'll start right in the middle. Ooh, we got a little bit, didn't quite get that whole side. Try that again. That's better. Much better. You can see the cells are starting to form already, and I want to pull this down a little more. This cell activator is again mixed with Australian Floetrol. There's 4 parts to 1 part paint. And like I mentioned earlier, we'll put those in the description so that you can have an idea of what we use. I use a lot of these cardboard strips from my actual canvases, just keeping them in a little Ziploc bag, different sizes, so that when I need to swipe, I don't have to rush out and cut something. I can make sure that I've already got it pre-cut. And each time you swipe, you want to wipe your swiping tool, whether it be cardboard or whether it be a metal tool. You want to wipe it clean before you add more cell activator to it. See if we can go down a little further on this one. Almost, not quite. I'm loving the way these colors are coming out. Really pretty combination. And we're going to try a smaller piece on the edge here. And then I'm going to turn it around and we'll see what happens with the other cell activator that we made. This again is the Amsterdam white, titanium white, mixed with the Australian Floetrol. Okay, let's see what happens if we take and flip our canvas around and see if we can may add more color to it, but we'll just see. Let's try this first. This is that Amsterdam Permanent Red Violet, again mixed with the Australian Floetrol. Okay, let's try a bigger piece toward the center here. Little cells are coming up. I'm thinking I may try putting a little more color here just to ensure that we have a nice section of colors to swipe from. And then we'll add the Phthalo Blue. And finally, our teal. Just getting enough on there to make sure we have a good opportunity to swipe. Okay, so using the bigger one now, we're going to go with a bigger piece of cardboard. We're going to go with the center area. We'll try to swipe that. See if we can get more color in here. There we go. That looks good. Flip it around. Again, you want to make sure you take and clean off your cardboard using the other side. Let's see, we might need another piece that's locally used. Let's try this one. This process takes patience, and it also is not something you get right away. It's trial and error, depending on the composition of paint you're using. And how you use your paints will certainly depend on what your end product comes out to be. I'm using all golden paints, which you don't have to use. You can mix them up, but I wanted to try that to see how they would work. And that's why we have them all here lined up. And we will move everything aside and see what we have here. Now there's a lot of color in the middle still, you can see that. And I'm going to take and just start to tilt. We've got some of the paint toward the end over here where a lot of the cells were developed. Help that out with some of the extra paint here. Just going to flow this on over to this corner as well, gently. And again, I may put some paint here just because we have color that we want to add to both sides. Help that flow a little bit. Good. And then come back to the middle where we can see paint on this side coming off. There we go. And back to the middle. And then on the edge over here, pulling that off. Those cells look amazing. I'm loving how both these cell activators really did a great job. Let's see if we can come down more this way. Bringing it toward this corner. Back to the center. And then we'll come toward this end and back to the center. Let's see if we can get more on this side. Stretching it a bit. And here. And this way. I could have used more swipes, but we're just playing today to see what we get, and we got nice cells. We're getting some bigger cells. We're stretching a little bit more than I would normally want to stretch, but it's exciting just to see what we're getting with this dual cell activator. We're using the titanium, Amsterdam titanium white, and then we're using the Amsterdam permanent red violet as cell activator. Yeah. There, let's see, we can let that rest for a few minutes. It's a very neat design, very different. And I usually wear a couple of pair of gloves, so I'm going to try to take off without taking both of them off, my top set of gloves. See if we can look closely. I see some air bubbles, and we might want to just take those and torch them. Being careful to remember we have house paint, so we don't want too much flame to get on here. Good. This corner I did put some blue in, but I'm thinking because it didn't really capture it on both sides, I'm going to cover that up with more house paint. Just wipe that off. Actually, it's just as easy to probably put some here and let that house paint come on off the side. Scraping that off, good. Nicely. We've got some really good cells here, pretty big ones. We'll try this and see what happens if we have a black cell activator with it. I'm sure it's going to come out beautifully. One of the things we want to do is make sure that each of these areas, when you swipe, you have more of an even flow of swiping. I didn't have as much as I normally do, but the design is still here. It's light, it's nice, it's likable, it's colorful, and it's definitely unique. So I'm going to take my other set of gloves off and bring the camera down close so you can see what we have by way of design. The cell development there, really very pretty. Those colors are a nice combination together with the Phthalo Blue, the teal blue, the permanent dark violet, along with the Quinacridone Violet. Makes for a really, really pretty combination of colors. So that's our 12 by 16 canvas swipe. It's a really pretty design. Colors are really nice and rich. I like the way it came out. I'm going to try and do this again with the same colors on a different canvas, and we're going to use a black cell activator to see how that turns out. So if you like this video, please like. If you haven't subscribed, by all means, please subscribe. We'd love to have you join us. And remember that the colors used in this particular design will be listed in the description box below. If you have any comments, please list them. We'd love to hear from you. And if you have any interest in any of the art that I do, please know that you can email me at AnitaWhite@gmail.com. Again, AnitaWhite@gmail.com. This has been another wonderful experiment. Time to play and have fun, and we've done that really well today. So thank you again for joining me, and for those of you who are subscribed, thank you for being such faithful viewers. We look forward to having more of you, so please join us. Until next time, keep loving your art.